Welcome, hello. A year of fire and fury, a year when the world seemed to unravel and rebuild itself all at once. From assassinations in America to protests in Paris, from the jungles of Vietnam to the streets of Prague, the world stood on the edge and leapt into history. Welcome to the Wisdom Archive. This is the story of a year that changed everything. 1968, the year that set the world on fire. The world of 1968 was tense. A Cold War kept East and West locked in a silent nuclear standoff. The Vietnam War raged without end, and across the globe, youth were rising, tired of war, of lies, of old systems. In every nation, a storm was brewing, and it would not stay quiet for long. On January 30th, the Vietnamese New Year, known as Tet, peace was shattered. North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces launched a surprise attack on more than 100 cities. The Tet offensive shocked America. Though militarily repelled, it changed public opinion forever. For the first time, Americans questioned, why are we there? Are we winning? Can we even win? The war came home through televisions, through coffins, through protest signs. Then came April 4th. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. His dream silenced by a rifle. Riots erupted in over 100 cities. The country wept and burned. Just 2 months later, hope was dealt another blow. On June 5th, Robert F. Kennedy was shot and killed in Los Angeles after a victory speech. Two voices for peace, gone, and with them, the hope of a gentler America seemed to fade. The Democratic National Convention in Chicago became a battlefield. Protesters clashed with police. Cameras caught tear gas, beatings, screams. Mayor Daley called it order. The world called it a police state. Democracy felt distant, and the nation divided. In Paris, students demanded more than just reform. They demanded revolution. What began as university unrest became a nationwide strike of 10 million workers. They wanted liberty, equality, a voice. Be realistic, demand the impossible. That was their rallying cry. Though the government held on, a message echoed. Youth would not be silenced. In Czechoslovakia, Alexander Dubček promised a socialism with a human face. Censorship eased, freedoms grew, the people hoped. But Moscow feared. In August, Soviet tanks rolled into Prague, crushing dreams beneath iron treads. Protesters held flowers. The soldiers held guns. The spring ended in silence, but its memory never faded. In Mexico City, as the world prepared for the Olympics, students cried for democracy. On October 2nd, at Tlatelolco Plaza, the government opened fire. Hundreds were killed, and the world looked away. But 10 days later, 2 American athletes used the Olympic stage to speak. Tommy Smith and John Carlos, gold and bronze medalists in the 200-meter sprint, stood on the podium. Fists raised, heads bowed. A silent protest for human rights. And a thunderous message heard around the world. While the world burned, its soundtrack soared. 1968 brought the Beatles' White Album. Aretha Franklin sang soul into strength. Jimi Hendrix lit his guitar, and the stage on fire. Music became protest. Art became rebellion. The youth were not just angry, they were awake. 1968 was not one event. It was an eruption. A scream against war, against injustice, against silence. It showed the power of voices raised, fists clenched, hearts broken, and rebuilt. It asked a question. If the world is broken, Who will fix it? And it gave an answer. Will we listen? Thank you for watching the Wisdom Archive. Like, subscribe, and share, and help keep the wisdom alive.